Hello children. Now we are discussing about the respiration in organism. Till now we have learned about the how respiration takes place, what is respiration takes, what is inhalation and exhalation, and what does our breath contain. You know that the air what we are breathing, it contains oxygen and we are exhaling is carbon dioxide. But how can you prove that? We can't say the air what we are breathing contains only oxygen and what we are exhaling contains only carbon dioxide. Why? Because air, it is a mixture of many gases like oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, sulfur, etc. It does not contain only oxygen and only carbon dioxide. It is a mixture of various gases. So, then you may have doubt that when we are inhaling, why only the oxygen enters into our body? Why not other gases? Yes or no? Yes. When we are inhaling a mixture of gases, not only the oxygen, along with dust. When we are inhaling the air, we are inhaling mixture of gases along with the dust. But the dust is stopped in the nasal cavity because of the presence of small hair inside our nose. So, these prevent the dust particles not to enter into the lungs. What happens if they enter into the lungs? When these dust particles reaches the lungs are filled with this dust and the exchange of gases does not take place. So, there is a chance to get many respiratory diseases. Already, there are many people who are suffering with respiratory diseases like asthma. But if this dust is again enters, it will increase. Their ability to take air will be decreased. So, here it's a God gift to prevent these dust particles in the nasal cavity itself. That's why when you travel through the smoky places or very dust, where dust is heavy, so the dust enters, what you will say? You will close your nose. Why? Because now to prevent this dust, and you can experience some itching in your nose if those dust particles enter into the nose. But when here dust particles are stopped there only and the temperature of the air also increased, which is balanced to our body, and that enters through the trachea into our lungs where exchange of gases takes place. Means when the blood reaches the lungs, the carbon dioxide which is present in the blood is given to the lungs and the oxygen which is entered through the respiration, which is entered through the inspiration process, is again given back into the blood. So here this is called exchange of gases. But the blood has ability, means it is capable of only absorbing the oxygen but not all the remaining gases from the mixture of air. So the blood will absorb only the oxygen from that mixture of gases, not all, because of the presence of a pigment called hemoglobin. It is a protein which is present in the blood. This helps to absorb only the oxygen. But it will again exhale. Again, when we are exhaling, the remaining gases will come out through the air out. But the oxygen is given back into the blood and is supplied throughout our body. Again, the carbon dioxide is also brought to that lungs and exchange of gases takes place. So this is the reason that only the oxygen is entering into our body. But sometimes some gases may affect our lungs. Why? Because the exchange of gases takes place there only. So because of this reason only, many people are suffering with the respiratory infections. Okay. Next, gases in our breath. You have already learnt in the previous chapter that von Helmont, he was a scientist who discovered the carbon dioxide from the burning charcoal, and he called it as the invisible gas. Why? Because we cannot see that gas. And the another scientist, Joseph Priestley, he discovered oxygen. So, by this, because of many experiments, they concluded that the oxygen is useful to our body when we are inhaling that air, and carbon dioxide is released out through the process of expiration. Gases in our breath. How can you say? What are the gases present in our breath? For that, see, the gases what we are inhaling is the oxygen. When inhaled air contains 210, whereas the exhaled air contains 165. Where carbon dioxide 0.4, which is very less quantity. Here you can see, here the quantity is more, but when it compared to exhaled air, some amount of oxygen is utilized by our body and some amount of oxygen is exhaled outside. Carbon dioxide, see, 0.4%, very little quantity. And if you observe the exhaled air, the air means from the our body produces carbon dioxide during the metabolic process. That carbon dioxide and these inhaled carbon dioxide together form 40%. Next, nitrogen and other gases. Same here, see, 790%, whereas the exhaled air is more when compared with because of our activities. Okay, you can conclude this, that exhaled air also contains carbon dioxide. For that, we are going to perform an activity that already have learnt. Take 2 test tubes. Take some lime water in both the test tubes. Take 2 test tubes and take water in one test tube and take lime water in the other test tube. Blow the air into the 2 test tubes at a time. What happens in the A test tube and B test tube? The water, the test tube which is containing water and the lime water, both are receiving the carbon dioxide, but we cannot see any changes in the water. Why? Because it is transparent. Whereas the lime water containing test tube turns into milky white. Why? Because of the change. That is, the lime water reacts with the carbon dioxide which is expelled by a mouth. When this carbon dioxide combined with the lime water, it turns into milky white. That is, we call it as precipitate. You can see small thread like white color structures in the test tubes. By that you can prove that the exhaled air also contains carbon dioxide. Okay. Next one, breathing in other animals. Not only human beings, each and every organism require oxygen or gas for the process of respiration. Without respiration, no organism can live. If you see the fish it breathes through its gills. You can see, if you when purchasing that one, they will cut that one. You can see the red color lines near the mouth. Those are gills, which helps in the process of exchanging the gases. When the fish open and close its mouth, the water enters into that fish mouth, and the exchange of gases means the water is pushed through the gills. So the gills absorb that oxygen present in the water, which is in dissolved form. So you may have get doubt, where is the oxygen? Means which is present. The water contains very little oxygen which is dissolved in the water. That oxygen is enough for the fish. Whereas the whale, it is a mammal. It cannot live in the water. So that's why it always come up and down. It will jump. Why? Because to take some amount of air. It will breathe some air when it come up, and again it will go down. So here there is a variation in the animals. If you see small fishes, that dissolved oxygen is enough. But whereas the fishes, which is a mammal, it does not, whale, it is a mammal, it does not require that oxygen. It contains lungs as a respiratory organ, whale. So there is it cannot make it sufficient as the oxygen which is present in the dissolved form. But whereas the small fishes, the dissolved oxygen is enough for their respiration. So these gills helps in the respiration, and again it will leave some water from its mouth which contains carbon dioxide. In this way the fish breathe through the gills. Whereas frog, you know that frog is an amphibian. What is amphibian? Means the animals which can live both on land and in water are called amphibians. So it can live both on land and water. When it is in the water, it breathes through the gills. When it is on the land, it breathes through lungs. So here both are useful for the frog. So when it is in the adult stage, the tadpole, we call it as, when it is in the larva stage, we call it as tadpole. The tadpole contains gills. Whereas the adult frog contains lungs as the respiratory organs. Even the skin also helps for the process of respiration when it is in the water. Okay, the early stage of the frog we call it as tadpole. In the tadpole, the gills are the respiratory organs, whereas the adult frog, lungs are the respiratory organs. So when it is on the land, it breathes through the lungs, and when it is in water, breathe through the skin. Okay. Next one is a cockroach. Cockroach is an insect. Not only cockroach, grasshopper, butterflies. These are the insects which contain trachea as their respiratory organ. If you observe the shape of the insect, you can see in the middle, above the upper part of the insect, you can see this straight bone-like structure. We call it as trachea. It consisting of small holes called spiracles. With the help of these holes, the air enters into the body and exchange of gases takes place. So here the trachea is the respiratory organ in cockroach. Next, if you see the earthworm. Earthworm, there is no special respiratory organs are present. In the earthworm, the skin itself acts as respiratory organs. Means the respiration takes place through the skin only. There is no special respiratory organs. So the respiratory organ is skin. By this we can conclude that each and every organism contains its own organ system. Means each and every organ. Animal has its own organ as a respiratory organs. Means which helps in the process of exchange of gases. Okay children. Let us learn more about respiration in plants in the next class. Thank you. See you in the next class.